Are you tired of always attracting the wrong women, or even no women? If so, it might be because you're a nice guy. For years, I had the same problem, and so did over 100 guys that I've personally worked with. So in this video, mate, I'm going to show you 4 steps that you can use, that you can take to cure your nice guy syndrome for good, so that you can finally find a great woman who is truly right for you. But you might be thinking, Oliver, what's wrong with being a nice guy? Well, let me tell you. Years ago, I was at a festival and I was arguing with my girlfriend when she suddenly shouted, "I just feel like the man in this relationship." I don't know what it was about those words specifically, but they hit me like a punch in the ribs. And she was right. At that festival, I couldn't relax. I was constantly clinging to her approval and her affection. Whenever she got upset, I would shut down. I would over-apologize and try and smooth everything over, even if I'd done absolutely nothing wrong. I became a chameleon. I always changed my preferences, my opinions, and warped my desires to match whatever I thought she wanted me to be. And she would have the same reaction every time. She would sigh, she would roll her eyes, and in that moment I could feel her losing respect for me. And that is nice guy syndrome in a nutshell. All it does is make you either invisible, forgettable, or in some cases, even the kind of doormat that women don't respect. And because of it, probably unsurprising to you, she eventually left me for somebody else. And I was heartbroken. But that heartbreak turned out to be a gift because it forced me to look at myself. It forced me onto the path of recovery. And that path of recovery features the 4 steps that I'm about to share with you. And the first one is the simplest, and it's the most transformative thing on the list. Right now, you might have a bunch of nice guy habits that are quietly sabotaging your interactions with women in the background. So what we need to do, mate, is we need to expose these habits of thinking, feeling, and behaving. We need to expose them to the light. So for the next 2 weeks, I want you to keep what I call an authenticity journal. Each time you catch yourself people-pleasing, which might mean sugarcoating the truth, saying yes when you mean no, lying, telling little white lies, or bending the truth. When you catch yourself doing this stuff, I want you to write down 4 things. The first thing I want you to write down is, what happened and how did I react? For example, I'll give you an example from my own life. A woman on a date, she once asked me if I liked sushi as much as she did. And I said, yes. So the second thing then you write down is, what did I really think, feel, or want? And in my example, the truth was about me was I actually hated sushi, and I still do. And then the third thing you want to write down in the authenticity journal is, what stopped me from being authentic in that moment? And with my example, I didn't say that I hated sushi because I was afraid she wouldn't want to see me again. I was afraid she would disapprove of me. And the 4th thing in the journal that you write down is, what was the outcome? What happened as a result of your behavior? So I basically, I felt awkward, I felt fake, I felt insecure on that date because I just lied, basically. So the authenticity journal, I want you to take this for 2 weeks. I want you to practice it with everybody, not just women. And after 2 weeks, you will have right in front of you black and white proof of how often you betray yourself. And here's why this matters. Women can feel when you aren't being authentic. To a woman, it registers in her system, her nervous system, as a lack of trust and respect for you. Ask any woman, she'll tell you when she's on a date and a guy's not being real, she knows, her body knows. Now, this step stings, but I want you to let that pain be your wake-up call, because now you're going to move into the next step. Step number 2. The truth is, there's one big difference between a nice guy and a confident man. A nice guy feels fear and he avoids. A confident man feels fear and he takes action anyway. Your nice guy patterns, mate, they exist for one reason: to protect you from the fear of social disapproval. But I want you to imagine for a second, mate, how your life would change if you stopped fearing disapproval altogether. Well, I can tell you for certain, you would be more authentic, you would be more magnetic, and you would be more charismatic. So to get there, what you need to do is change your relationship with fear. And there's a really simple method for this that's called the RAIN method, and it's by a Buddhist teacher called Tara Brach. So the first step to the RAIN method is to recognize what you're feeling. So for example, I'm feeling anxious right now. Recognize it. The second step is to allow it to be there without trying to change it. So you might say, it's okay to feel anxious. I accept that I feel anxious. The third step is to investigate what the feeling is trying to communicate. So you might say, why am I anxious? You might then realize, because I'm scared that she's going to be angry at me. And then the fourth step is to nurture yourself by speaking to yourself like a loving and supportive friend. And you might say, it's okay, mate. It's okay. I've got you. We can handle whatever happens. I want you to get used to using the RAIN method as often as possible. You can type it out in the notes section of your phone during the week, whenever something comes up, an emotional trigger comes up. And I promise you, mate, no bullshit. If you practice this consistently, then you will start building this kind of grounded, calming presence. You'll start building a sense of emotional independence. And that presence is actually a woman's biggest turn on. Promise you. And not only that, you will be ready for step 3, which is where the rubber really hits the road. So I'm just going to get real with you, mate. I'm getting real for a second. Here is a hill that I will die on. The vast majority of men's dating issues today come from a single core reason. The reason is a failure of society to help boys become confident men. This is devastating to dating, because confidence has always been and always will be the thing that women find the most attractive in a man. And it doesn't require money, it doesn't require looks, and it doesn't require status. And it's completely trainable. So the truth is, mate, if you want the reward of a healthy, great, attractive, intelligent woman to establish a relationship with, you need confidence, mate. You need confidence. So for my clients to build this, what I do is I give them something that I call a confidence ladder. So what the confidence ladder is, it's essentially a practice about taking small actions and gradually increasing their intensity, right, across time. So I want you to think of it like a gym program that builds not your biceps, but your confidence muscle. And it does this while creating new social and dating opportunities at the same time as a bonus. So for example, if you were going to do a confidence ladder with me, and I'd hold you accountable to it, week 1, I would give you the challenge of, for example, saying hi to 3 strangers a day. And you have to go and do that. And then week 2, you need to then start one conversation, a short conversation a day with a stranger. Okay? And then week 3, we expand it and go a bit higher by saying, you need to say hi to 3 attractive women per day, and so on. You get the point. The point is, every rep makes you more confident. It makes you more relaxed. It makes you more playful. It makes you more authentic. This alone will completely transform your experiences with women. You'll be able to show up more authentically with way less anxiety and way less fear. But the truth is, mate, no matter how much action you take, there's always a chance that you will backslide into old habits. And that's why, to prevent this, we have step 4. This step is all about killing your craving for approval and your fear of disapproval for good. But let me explain something to you, mate. Most nice guys, like myself in the past, are chameleons. Chameleons. This basically means they don't have a strong reality of their own, so they kind of latch onto other people's reality, especially women's, for a sense of comfort, for a sense of direction in life, and even for a sense of identity. But here's the problem. When you collapse into someone else's reality, right? If you're a man and you collapse into a woman's reality, you hand your power to that person. And in a relationship, or even on a date, when you hand your power to a woman, you unconsciously put her on a pedestal, and that's when she can only look down on you. And you've put her there. A lot of the time she didn't put herself there, you put her there, okay? So to prevent this from happening, what I want you to do is to strengthen your core identity and start living by it. It's basically living on your own terms, right? And that comes down to 4 things. The first thing is your needs and your desires. What do you actually want? The second thing is your values. What principles do you live by? The third thing is your vision. Where are you going in life? And the fourth thing is, what are your boundaries? What will you absolutely not tolerate? The thing is, when you strengthen these 4 pillars, this is when you build your core, and this is when you stop living for scraps of validation from other people. You start living your own life. You raise your standards in the kind of women that you invite into your life, which increases your self-respect as well. You stop tolerating bad behavior, and you become a man who truly lives on his own terms. And that's exactly the kind of rare man who emotionally healthy, intelligent, and attractive women are excited to be in a relationship with. So this entire process that I outlined in the video is the process I take clients through, and it's called the Pleaser to Leader framework. And I've used it with over 100 men to transform them from nice guys into confident, attractive leaders. And many of these men attracted great relationships as a result of this work. So if you are curious, if you want to start this journey yourself with me and work with me potentially, click the link in the pinned comment down below, and we're going to book a free 30-minute call. That's when we're going to discuss your situation and how you can move forward. Take care, mate. And as always, stay courageous.